Hey my fellow monsters, welcome to my channel. I'm Lydia, aka Mama Monster, and here we do everything horror. So today we are talking about movies to watch to prepare you for this upcoming Super Bowl. I was talking to my sister about my next video I was going to do, and she said you should do one for the Super Bowl as a joke, and I was like, no, that's actually a good idea. I really like that. So if that's something that you're into, grab a snack, maybe a drink, and let's get into it. So I'm not a huge football fan, but I do love to go to like live games, and I love watching the Super Bowl. It's just a fun time, all the snacks and just like having fun with your friends and family, and the halftime show, of course. So the first movie I'm going to talk about is Disturbing Behavior for 1998. The Blue Ribbon Gang always sets perfect examples of how an upstanding citizen should be like. But when Steve finds out what goes on behind their perfect lives, he gets the shock of his life. So this movie is listed as a horror thriller, but for me, I really do feel like it's more of a thriller. But this was a part of my teenage years. I love this movie so much. At this time, I was a really big fan of Katie Holmes, so I was really excited to see her in this. And not only that, like her character is like something that she never plays, and she's usually like, you know, the sweet girl, and this one she didn't play that type of person. But obviously this movie is set around a bunch of high school football jocks, and I mean, I think the movie, it's not for everybody because it's not like at a fast pace like normal horror movies, but honestly I think it's a good time, and it has the whole 90s vibes going for it. So yeah. So this next one I'm going to talk about is the one that's not a horror movie. It is a comedy fantasy, but I feel like it has horror elements, and I feel like every horror fan does love this movie. I would hope so. We are talking about Beetlejuice for 1988. When the deceased couple, Adam and Barbara, are unsuccessful in scaring away a family that has moved into their old home, they seek the help of bioexorcist Beetlejuice. So obviously this is a classic, and I had to put this in there because of that whole football team when they go see their caseworker, and even at the end of the movie when they're dancing with Lydia. This is just something I couldn't pass up to put on my list. I love this movie so much. It's one of my all-time favorites, so yeah. Next we have Graduation Day for 1981. At Midvale High School, Coach Michaels pushes over athlete Laura Ramstead, who dies. After 2 months, her sister comes to attend the graduation in her honor. When she arrives, murder ensues for the high school track team. So this film does revolve around a track team, like I said in the synopsis, but one of the track members is also a football player. So there's one point of the movie that he has his football uniform on and he dies. So if you love 80s films like I do, this is one to watch. It is fun, it is cheesy, it is comical, the kills are great, the music's great, it's just a fun time. So on to the next one, which is Jennifer's Body. Jennifer becomes possessed and turns into a succubus after she is sacrificed to Satan. When her best friend Anita learns about it, she has to stop Jennifer before she attacks her lover Chip. So obviously I had to put this one in here. Jennifer's a cheerleader, we have football players, and actually they have all the stereotypical high school cliques in this movie. So this movie does have a cult following, and I understand why. This movie definitely was ahead of its time. There's so many memorable moments in this film. It's also very quotable. I feel like Megan Fox just does an amazing job at this role. So the next film I'm going to talk about is All Cheerleaders Die from 2013. A rebellious teen convinces the cheerleaders to take down the captain of the football team until a supernatural problem thrusts the young woman into a new battle. So this one is actually a remake from, I think, 2001, which I haven't seen the original, but I saw this one, and this movie probably should be really bad. But I actually really enjoy it. It is, I don't know, it is a good time. It's not super gory or anything, and the acting's not like top notch, but I don't know, it's just, like I said, very enjoyable. There are some very ridiculous moments, and while watching, you know, I'm thinking to myself, like, am I actually really enjoying this? That I am. But yeah, I don't think this movie will be for everybody, but I don't know, I just feel like with this movie you should just give it a chance and see how you like it. There is this one part in the very beginning that made me cringe, so I thought the rest of the movie would be like that, like, you know, in a good way, but it wasn't. That was probably like the best kill of the movie, but I don't know, I still have a good time with it. So it's cheerleaders against football players, so it was perfect for this list, I thought. Next we have Freaky from 2020. An ancient dagger causes a high school student to switch bodies with a middle-aged serial killer. She must reverse it within 24 hours, or she will forever occupy the man's body. So when this movie first came out, I didn't know how I'd feel about it just because of the comedic aspects of the film, but I knew I would have to like it to a certain extent because I absolutely love Vince Vaughn's acting in all of his movies, and I had such a good time with this film. I definitely need to rewatch it soon, but I just remember laughing so much throughout this film. The kills were actually really fun. Yeah, so I thought the acting was great, the cinematography is great, and obviously they're in high school. The main girl, she is a mascot, so in the beginning she's like at a homecoming, so there's the football aspect of the movie, and then throughout the movie, of course, there's a bunch of football players. So this is another one you can watch if you haven't already seen it, or just rewatch it. Next film on my list is House of Wax from 2005. A group of friends stranded on the way to a football game approach an abandoned wax museum for help, but the events that unfold find them running from the murderous brothers who manage the place. So I've talked about this movie over and over again because I'm obsessed with it. I don't care what anybody says. This movie is amazing. But obviously, football. They're going to a football game. At one point, they are tossing the football around at the campsite they're at. This movie is just so good. The kills are amazing. The acting's not too bad. I mean, it's everything I can ask for from a horror movie. This one is one that I will always pop in. I will never get tired of. So yeah, definitely a must watch. So next is The Rage, Carrie 2. When her closest friend commits suicide after being manipulated by the popular crowd, quiet and bookish Rachel Lang decides to get back at the guilty parties. Although Rachel falls for sensitive football player Jesse Ryan, she remains determined to punish his callous friends. When Rachel discovers that she has superhuman abilities, it ups the stakes for her revenge, echoing a supernatural incident that occurred decades before. So I actually have not seen this movie it's been a good minute. It's been years, and now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I should watch it like tonight because I actually really enjoyed this movie growing up. I'm not sure how other people feel about it, but obviously this one does revolve around a bunch of football players, so this one was perfect to put on my list. From what I remember, I do know this movie can get a bit cheesy, but honestly, I know the acting is actually not all that bad, and I also feel like this movie has some really fun and creative kills. This is one scene that always stuck with me is a girl with glasses and they break in her eyes, and that part always made me cringe because I do wear glasses. I have contacts on right now, but I mean, y'all see me with glasses, but that part just always made me cringe. But yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with this one. So my next film I'm talking about is Prom Night 3, The Last Kiss. The spirit of a murdered prom queen uses a naive student to gain revenge against the faculty of Hamilton High. Okay, so hear me out. I know this movie is probably beyond cheesy. Probably the cheesiest of the cheese. I understand that. But I'm a bit biased because this is the movie that I probably watched the most. Other than Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan, these two movies were probably my most watched movies as a teenager. I know I have an acquired taste, but this movie, it's fun. I feel like it's a fun time, and they have some really good and gross kills. So that's all I gotta say. If you haven't seen it, just give it a chance. If you have seen it and didn't like it, give it another chance. Maybe. Okay, so one more movie to talk about, and I feel like everyone knows that this movie should be on this list, The Faculty. When Casey Connor, Harrington High School's newspaper photographer, witnesses the murder of a nurse and sees her alive again, she decides to investigate the bizarre happenings. So this movie screams 90s vibes all the way. I absolutely love this film. This movie has great actors in it. Of course, we have the football players, we have the cheerleaders, we have the nerds, we have the stoners, we have all the above. So this movie definitely keeps on your toes. Who's an alien? Who's not an alien? Who's the head alien? I don't know. I love this movie so much. The storyline, the special effects, the soundtrack is amazing. Everything about this movie is just deserving to be on this list. If I had to pick one off this list to watch before the Super Bowl, this one is it. That is my list of movies to watch to prepare for the Super Bowl. Let me know if your team made it to the Super Bowl, and if not, who are you rooting for? I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload. My socials will be down below. I love to have you over there, especially Instagram. It's always a good time chatting and making new friends. So yeah, until next time.